How does IHL define the proportionality principle? Imagine you're planning a military strike and want to avoid harming innocent people. How do you decide what is acceptable? That's where the proportionality principle in international humanitarian law comes in. It guides how armed forces can conduct attacks while protecting civilians. This principle says that even if you are attacking a legitimate military target, you must consider the potential harm to civilians and their property. The expected civilian harm should not be excessive compared to the military advantage you hope to gain. For example, if destroying a military installation might cause a few civilian injuries but leads to a major strategic victory, it might be considered proportionate. But if the civilian harm is too high compared to the military benefit, the attack is not allowed. The idea is to balance two main things: the military benefit and the civilian harm. Military advantage is what you hope to achieve, like weakening the enemy's forces or gaining territory. Civilian harm includes injuries, deaths, and damage to homes or businesses that are not the target. The proportionality rule doesn't mean civilian harm is completely forbidden. It means harm should be limited to what is not excessive in relation to the military gain. If civilian harm is proportionate, it might be tolerated. But if it's too high, the attack is considered unlawful. This rule is written into law, specifically in Article 51, Paragraph 5, Part 2, of the Additional Protocols to the Geneva Conventions. It's also recognized as customary international law, meaning it applies in both international and non-international armed conflicts. When military commanders plan an attack, they must carefully weigh the expected civilian harm against the military advantage. This assessment can be tricky because it involves comparing different types of harm that don't have a common measure. Despite this challenge, the rule acts as a legal and moral check to prevent unnecessary suffering. In addition to avoiding disproportionate attacks, parties to a conflict must take all feasible precautions to minimize civilian harm. This includes choosing the timing, method, and place of attacks carefully. To sum up, the proportionality principle under international humanitarian law means that attacks on military targets are only lawful if the civilian harm caused is not excessive compared to the military advantage gained. It's about balancing military necessity with humanity, making sure civilians are protected as much as possible during armed conflicts.